You're watching NurseTV.com.
I'm excited. Somebody asked me, was I nervous? Was I scared? And I was like, you know something? I'm too excited to be afraid, you know? And I hear about a lot of other missions, and I'm happy to be on this one.
Diane Felton's latest traveling nursing gig has her working in San Clemente, California. But in mid-September, Felton decided to take a 2-week hiatus from her day-to-day duties in the States in order to achieve what she called the spiritual journey of her life. Earlier this year, she contacted Nurses with Purpose, a medical missions group that provides volunteer health care to impoverished areas. Along with 7 other team members, Felton accepted an offer to work with those in need in Uganda and Ethiopia. NurseTV caught up with Felton prior to leaving.
I had to get a lot of immunizations. I had to get 6 shots, 3 in each arm, but it'll be worth it.
Felton was so eager to assist in Africa, she paid for half of her own expenses. In 2006, she found herself on a similar mission in the far reaches of the Philippine Islands. To call the conditions primitive, Felton says is a true understatement. Patients were treated in an unsterilized gymnasium, and places like pharmacies and hospitals functioned on bare-bone supplies. No syringes, no alcohol pads, no running water, no hand sanitizer. Felton said she expected much of the same upon arriving in Africa, where she imagined her focus would be less on nursing and more on straight bedside manner.
I know in terms of like supplies, they won't be there, you know. I know on the last medical mission I went on, we actually brought medical supplies with us. Things were so completely different from what we do here in the United States that I almost felt, I didn't really feel overwhelmed. I was too excited to feel overwhelmed, but I felt like I wasn't doing nursing per se. But I was doing a lot of caring. I was doing a lot of that compassion type stuff. They make me a better nurse. They make me a better person. They make me a more compassionate nurse. They make me a more caring nurse. They make me want to sit down and talk to the patient.
Felton read the heart-wrenching stories about African children forced to hike several miles just to get routine immunization shots.
From what I understand, children hike for days, miles, to come to this hospital to get immunizations and other health care needs. The weather in Uganda was hot.
Even at the end of September, huh? Still
yeah, hot, all 13 months of sunshine.
This is Felton, now comfortably back in her San Clemente apartment, following what she calls another life-changing experience. Same infectious smile, her thoughts are still with the children.
The little kids were just coming up to us and touching us and grabbing us, and I was like, whoa. And I'm thinking, am I going to catch something, you know? And for seconds, you don't know how many things went through my mind.
The nurses brought anti-malaria medication along with everyday supplies like Tylenol and cough syrup. She says she was shocked by the lack of pain medication, something she believes is overused in the U.S. Just listen to how she describes her emotional interaction with one of her patients.
I had a patient come in after being hit by a car, and I had a big open wound on her leg and no pain med. I said to the doctor, doctor, she's in a lot of pain. Can we give her something before you start stitching her up? We'll give her something when she comes back from x-ray. In the United States, a patient wouldn't tolerate. Never mind a nurse. Patient wouldn't want to go that long without any pain medication. And the only thing I could do at that point was just to hold her, the patient, and let her squeeze my arm almost off. And because the pain was that great. And they don't have enough medication to be giving everybody who walks into the emergency room pain medication. The supply is just not that plentiful.
Despite a lack of economic resources, Felton says the university hospital was clean. There was infection control, staff education, and even a serviceable nursing program. That said, nurses deal with rough living conditions.
Nursing is a very, it's not a very well-respected profession. Like here in the United States, we make good bucks. Back there, they make about $200 a month. One nurse to like 30 or 40 patients in a hospital setting. And this was the international hospital that really one of the best hospitals, I think, in that area.
The visiting nursing team was greeted with open arms, and that's Felton's greatest memory. But looking back, the lack of supplies left the mission drained both physically and emotionally.
The plate was full, and we couldn't even eat it all. You know, we couldn't take care of all the needs. We couldn't medicate all the patients. We ran out of medications, and yeah, that great good we felt when we marched in there with all this medication, we left so empty.
In November, Nurses with Purpose heads to India. Felton still is not sure if she will accompany the crew, but she says she knows her work was appreciated as she continues to get emails from some of her nursing colleagues she met in Africa. For Nurse TV, I'm Mark Prescott.
For more stories about nurses, go to NurseTV.com.